An update on the Giannis Antetokounmpo trade front, how the Milwaukee Bucks are going to pitch their star in an attempt to get him to stay. I'm Trevor Lane. This is the Basketball Bulletin. Make sure you subscribe right here to the channel. Going to be a busy summer around the NBA. We're already calling it the summer of trades because we're expecting a lot of activity. So hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. All right, so Mark Stein just released this. Happy Memorial Day out there, everybody, by the way. But Mark Stein released this about the Giannis trade front. Again, there are expectations that at some point Giannis is going to make a decision. He's either going to request a trade or not. The Bucks would prefer he not request a trade. Personally, I believe if Giannis wants to contend for a championship, he needs to request a trade. The Milwaukee Bucks just do not have a path to get there, at least not this coming season. However, check out this pitch that the Milwaukee Bucks are going to lay on Giannis to try to get him to stay in Milwaukee. Now, Stein noted that there were no developments last week for many factions around the league, hoping to get a firm indication about Giannis Antetokounmpo's future. In other words, opposing teams are waiting to hear, does Giannis want out? The only certainty to emerge in 27 games or 27 days since the Bucks last played a game, teams are quietly lining up to make trade pitches for the 30-year-old if he becomes available, without waiting to see if they land on the widely anticipated list of preferred destinations that Antetokounmpo would be expected to furnish if he indeed reaches that point. Yeah, no kidding. It's Giannis, right? 29 teams are making that call. And why does it not matter so much whether or not he actually wants to go there? Because he has at least 2 more years left under contract and then a third year as a player option. So there's more certainty than with a guy like, say, a Kevin Durant, who's going to hit free agency the next summer. That's going to allow him to direct his landing spot. He has 1 year remaining under contract. Giannis has 2. And at 30 years old, he's still in his prime. He's a guy who a team could convince themselves to trade for him and then sell him on the city over the next 2 seasons and get him to stay that way, even if that team is not among the preferred destinations for Giannis Antetokounmpo. But again, the Bucks would prefer to not trade him at all. They don't want to lose their franchise star. But check out this plan that the Bucks are going to use to try to convince Giannis to stay. This is wild. Absolutely wild what the Bucks are going to do. Word is, again, this is via Mark Stein, that the Bucks are trying to build a good bit of their case for convincing Antetokounmpo to give them another shot to build a title team around loudly reminding him about the current state of the Eastern Conference. Come on. Are we being serious? Loudly reminding them about the state of the Eastern Conference, saying, hey, look, Giannis, just a quick reminder, the East sucks. Everyone around us, it's not, hey, Giannis, we've got this great team. It's, look how bad everyone around us is. We don't have to really get that much better to get to the East Finals because everyone sucks. That is the Bucks' pitch. Look at this smoldering crater of an Eastern Conference. This is why you should stay in Milwaukee. Not, we've got all this young talent, we've got all these players, we've got all these plans to add pieces around you, all this kind of stuff. I'm sure that will really be part of their pitch. But the main central theme is, look around us. This is, do you really want to go to the West? And you know what? I don't blame them. I mean, Boston is gone, right? Jason Tatum out, unfortunately, due to the most likely the entire season due to that Achilles injury. They're probably going to jettison talent as well to drop their salaries down. The Cavs just got bounced in the second round. If I'm the Cavs, I feel pretty good about where I'm at right now, even though I lost in the second round. Like, hey, I've got a real shot. The Pacers may be on the verge of heading to the Eastern Conference Finals, but they did lose game 3 last night to the Knicks, so that's now 2-1 that series. The Knicks and the Pacers, the 2 teams surviving. Are those 2 teams scaring anybody away from making a run in the East, though? No. In fact, I think in the East, we could see teams actually load up to try to make a run going, hey, look at this. The pathway is clear. There isn't a behemoth standing in our way. Let's go. The Detroit Pistons, they're certainly on the rise. But Milwaukee, their pitch is essentially, look around us. Look at the Eastern Conference. If you want to win a championship, there's no easier path than to stay in these. Look what happens if you go out west. If you go out west, you've got what? 13 probably playoff caliber teams, at least. I mean, even the Phoenix Suns, who were awful, they're at least talent-wise a playoff caliber team. The Dallas Mavericks just picked up Cooper Flagg. They're going to get him in the draft. The San Antonio Spurs got the number 2 pick. They're probably, even without using it to get Giannis, they're probably a playoff caliber team. I think the New Orleans Pelicans, if they're healthy, are a playoff caliber team. That means there's 3 teams in the Western Conference that are talent-wise playoff caliber that aren't even going to make the play-in. And so maybe that's not the worst pitch in the world from Milwaukee. Hey, do you really want to fight in that buzzsaw of a Western Conference? Or we got smooth waters here. Sail along with us in the East. It's easy mode. Why don't you stay here? Now, of course, that begs the question, well, couldn't Giannis just ask for a trade to an Eastern Conference team? Well, he certainly could, but the Bucks are not going to emphasize that at all. Now, what the Bucks are reportedly going to do is tell Giannis, take what's called a gap year. Okay, a gap year to allow them to retool and maintain his one-team affiliation. So essentially saying, Giannis, we are not going to be very good this next year either, but the East sucks. They're still going to suck a year from now. So with that being the case, give us a season. Give us a season, and then look what happens. Next year, look, we're going to be punting next year. We're going to try to add pieces. We're going to try to add what we can, but we're essentially punting. Who knows? We could make a run, but we probably can't add the pieces right now. But look what happens next year. Look what happens next year. Bobby Portis comes off the books. Pat Connaughton comes off the books. Kevin Porter Jr. is off the books then, right? And he may not even pick up his player option. We'll see what happens with those guys. Damian Lillard is now an expiring contract. What if we could use him as an expiring that year and flip that $50+ million contract? And my God, that's a massive contract. $58 million for Damian Lillard there. $20 million for Kyle Kuzma. That'll be expiring. That's $70 million, almost $80 million in expiring salaries we can flip. Look how clean the books are. And we can go hit free agency in 2026 and go try to get somebody to come play with you. So that is the pitch for the Milwaukee Bucks. Look, number one, the East sucks. It's not out of the question for us to make a run next year. But even if we don't, look at all the flexibility we can have a year from now. So if you're cool, if you can be patient, if you really want to stay a Milwaukee Buck for your entire career, and look how rare that is these days, Giannis, imagine how important that would be for you, for the city, for your legacy, if you stay with one team. Look at how revered Dirk is in Dallas. Think about Kobe in LA. That could be you in Milwaukee. And all you have to do is kick the can down the road by 1 year, and then we're going to have a bunch of flexibility to go make stuff happen. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to have a lot of draft capital to go use, but their options will open up considerably if you kick the can down the road for 1 more year. And you can still tell Giannis, hey, again, you're in the East, and you never say never in the Eastern Conference. We could certainly be among the teams that make a run next season. After that, we can make significant changes to this roster. So, interesting pitch there from the Milwaukee Bucks. Maybe not a surprise with the direction that they're going to go, but essentially it is a 2-pronged approach. Number one, look around you. It's Will Smith in the empty room. That's what the Eastern Conference is. You have a clear path to a deep run in the East with Boston now essentially gone. Sure, the Cavs will still be there. The Pacers will still be there. The Knicks will still be there. But are any of those teams a true roadblock? Probably not. And then, not this summer, but next summer, we can really rebuild and retool this roster around you. So that's going to be the pitch from the Milwaukee Bucks to Giannis Antetokounmpo whenever it is that they can give that pitch. Once again, I don't think they can convincingly say we have a shot to win this year. Even in the easy mode Eastern Conference, I don't think that is a real thing. However, could they convince Giannis to wait 1 more year and promise him that when they have that flexibility, then they will make something happen? Well, that is where things really get interesting. But everybody, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you think Giannis Antetokounmpo is going to stay with the Milwaukee Bucks? Will that pitch of look how bad the East is be a successful one? Again, let me know in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe right here to the channel. Until next time, see ya and stay safe.